and welcome to the Jamie Foster Brown Show, and I am Jamie Foster Brown. I got Micah Stampley and his wife Heidi with me tonight. Now, he's a Stellar Award nominated and two-time Dove Award nominated worship leader. They're proud parents of 5 beautiful children: Brandon, Micah III, Adam, Mary, and David. And she's been married to this gorgeous, handsome man, but she's even prettier. He's 20 years. He also manages his career and is his songwriting partner. But pay attention to that. We're gonna talk about that later. That's very important. They opened their own restaurant in Fayetteville, Georgia, called Orleans Brews and Beignet, with lines out the door. So who am I talking about? This is none other than Micah and his beautiful wife, Heidi. Welcome, you two incredibles.
Thank you.
Thank you. What an introduction.
What a couple. I'm in love with. How long you all been married?
22
years.
What a blessing. This
Yes.
is when you find your mate and your perfect mate. So, okay, I want to talk a little bit. I got many things to unpack with you guys. Okay. Because
Okay.
you have many jewels. The children are jewels. The fact that you all get together and work together, that's a jewel. That you love each other, that you have passion for each other, that you all are out dealing with the public and making it and still making it okay, still moving along. So, okay, listen, you're food lovers. You've launched your own beignet mix, now available on Walmart.com, on Walmart.com.
Yes, ma'am.
And soon to be distributed to all the locations of Wayfield Foods grocery stores in Georgia. What makes them so special? Tell me about it. How did you all decide to do that? Come on, I can't even pronounce it.
You know, Heidi always wanted a restaurant, but we've all, we're from Louisiana. So food and cooking is just kind of in our blood,
Yes.
And we will host big parties and Christmas gatherings and things like that. And people were always, they loved our food, loved our cooking. So she started searching and found a building. And the next thing you know, we were opening a cafe. And we were open almost 3 years. Then my daughter transitioned, of course, and we end up closing the restaurant. But the beignet mix, the beignet recipe came to life because of the push to open this cafe. And I think I was like in the cafe before we opened. It was late, probably middle of the night, praying and asking God to give me a recipe.
Our own recipe.
Yeah. We wanted our own recipe. We didn't want to have to
We were
borrow
opening up based on, kind of other people's recipes that we played around with and changed up a little bit, but we wanted our own, recipe, like our own thing.
Yeah,
So
and that's what happened. And I got almost like a computer download.
she got the question.
Yeah.
So because you all wanted to have beignets, what comes first, the restaurant or the beignet? The chicken or the egg?
Right. Exactly.
What do we want to do first here? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, we love beignets, obviously. There's something about them that you wanted to open up a restaurant featuring that. And,
Right.
and also selling that. So
Yes.
it's a dual thing. You can ship it out and they can come in and eat it in or ship it out. Okay. So what is special about beignet? Why that particular sweet thing?
Well, I think beignets was something that I grew up eating, growing up in Louisiana, and I just absolutely love them. And I felt like it was something that was unique to bring to Georgia, first of all. And it turned into a huge hit. Like people were driving miles and miles and,
Try
coming
3
in.
hours one way.
to get, they said it was either coming to us or going to New Orleans. So we were closer.
And then when they got to us, they said we were better.
Yeah.
Well, how did they know about you guys in this beignet? Is that through the church or through your advertising? What did you do?
Yeah, it was a lot of word of mouth, actually, because it's very expensive to do advertisement. So starting out, we really had mostly word of mouth. But when we opened, we had a line and we hadn't really advertised. too much, social media and things like that. People were just so excited about trying the beignets. So yeah.
How long you all been married?
22 years.
22 years.
Okay. What keeps this marriage going? We're gonna unpack all this. We got to see how did we get here? Okay.
Okay.
So few of us who can get where you are, make the marriage work, do business together, raise all these beautiful children. That's a lot to we're gonna try to get it all in this hour. So tell me, how did you all work? How did you get together? What was it that you all saw in each other, and then how did you go together? Because you also write. You're his partner, right, Heidi?
Yes.
Oh, you're a smart man, Micah.
And I married a nurse.
She's a nurse, so she can fix anything. That's physically. Tell me about this incredible couple.
Well, we met basically. He was over a gospel choir many years ago and had moved away, came back, and I was in the gospel choir. And
on the Northwestern State University.
Yeah. So it was kind of one of those things, like we just made eye contact. Next thing you know, I'm calling the pastor that was over the choir, like the supervisor or whatever, and asking him about him. And he ended up introducing us, and we were literally engaged in 3 weeks.
Micah, and you were innocent. You didn't even know what was going on.
I did. I told her on our first date,
What
3 days after meeting her, I knew she was my wife. So 3 days.
3 days after meeting her, you knew that was
That was our first date.
That's our first date. 3 days after meeting her, 3 weeks later, I proposed.
Okay, let's do that. How did you? No. This is a teaching channel. Do you understand? This is about being kinder, gentler, and also offering information. What was it about her that wasn't just physical? I'm sure physical was there. You know, a lot of the guys like to look at the rump, the hump, the dump, you know, this part up here, that muscle up here, that's the one that really counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, I can see why your eye was attracted to her. Actually, she looks like my family. Do we look? Like mom? So I can see why you were attracted to her. But what else was it there? Once you after 3 weeks, you proposed. So what was that she was that you saw in her? Yeah.
So first of all, the physical thing, because I'm not ever marrying nobody. I wasn't gonna ever marry no ugly person. So.
You ain't supposed to say that. Oh God.
Hey, you the one trying to unpack all this. So you gonna drink this tea.
All right, Micah.
Okay. And then the spirituality, right? So we were both, what I didn't know when the time we met until our first date, we were literally comparing like notes. But years before I met her, the Lord began to deal with me. He asked me, what is it that you want? And, and I began to kind of describe the type of woman that I wanted to marry and spend the rest of my life with. And he said, write the vision and make it plain. So I just began to take notes, just write down things, from my heart. And our first date, we were out on the riverbank talking after ice cream and all that kind of stuff. And we were sitting talking, and she had been doing the same things years before she met me. We compared notes, and they were literally identical.
Our vision was the same.
You too. I really, I'm jealous, actually. No, I'm not. Because I'm talking to you because I was married to my husband for 46 years, and he came into my business and helped me grow sister to sister and all that.
Awesome.
I know you. I know it, but I want others to know you.
Yeah.
I want others to know what to look for. And what to feel. This is I don't think we put enough into, we look at the physical, but we don't look at the mental. We don't look at who is this person. And that's one of the problems that's something that we need to explore over and above the physical.
Exactly.
Am I wrong with that or no?
No, you're exactly right. And I literally, for 3 years, I wouldn't date anybody.
Really?
I wouldn't date it for 3 years. I would not date anybody because I wanted God to show me who was my wife, because I didn't want to be messing around with somebody else's Eve.
Oh. Somebody else's Eve.
Yeah, I wanted my own rib. I wanted my own rib because somebody else's rib wouldn't have fit.
Absolutely. But had you had in the past with your former the former women that you dealt with, what was it that what was missing with them? What was it that you knew was missing in those relationships?
Intellectually, spiritually, it was a disconnect. Churchgoers, but lacked real revelation and relationship. And it was just something that I was looking deeper. I didn't want anybody to compete against the assignment on my life either.
Okay, which is church and
ministry, my music and things like that. I didn't want anybody who would be jealous or envious of a call on my life. Because at the end of the day, he's the one that matters most.
So when you ask God, to send you your mate, you pray for her, right? They said how. Okay, and what did you know? What did you say to him that you wanted in a mate? What were the qualifications? I'm gonna get to you later, Heidi.
I needed her to be intellectual. I needed her to be able to have a conversation with me, just on any topic, any subject, And I'm not like super deep person, but when you're no longer in bed, you have to have a conversation. There has to be something more besides intimacy that keeps a glue, that keeps the marriage together.
What were you looking for, Heidi? And what experiences had you had?
Well, one thing it's funny, I used to pray for somebody like my dad. Because my dad is such a wonderful man. He's such a kind, spiritual man, and that was what I was looking for. Someone that would cover me, like protect me, pray for me, just be a leader. And those were the things that I saw in him. And the fact that we had similar upbringings, pretty much the same upbringing.
We're both PKs.
Preacher's kids, okay.
Yeah. And we were raised.
Is that true?
Say again?
I said I hear they are the worst. The PKs.
Well, I think we get the spotlight put on us because we're the leaders' children.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, when your parents are pastors, you have to share them with an entire congregation.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times the PKs, the kids, the pastor's kids gets the short end of the stick.
Yeah, you have to.
We kind of figure out things.
Sacrifice a lot of your parents, the time with your parents and things like that. But I want.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
No, I'm listening. I got a lot of questions for you.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Heidi.
Yeah, so for me, I wanted someone that, the compatibility. And so that was one thing that, I wanted. I didn't necessarily pray for that, but I kind of wanted it in my heart because it's such a chemistry that we have, like, because I think we were raised in the same kind of way. We just get each other. And, we laugh about the same kind of stuff. We, sing the same kind of songs, just growing up in church, like just different things like that keep our marriage fun and light. And so I think that's a part of, the things that just drew me to him. Like we just had this chemistry.
It's very, that's, I don't know if you know, I think I mentioned I was married 46 years.
Yeah.
I had 2 or 3 fiancés at the time I met that dude. But
Uh-huh.
I knew. Forgive me, Lord.
No, I had a similar situation. I wasn't engaged, but I had all these guys wanting to marry me, and I kept saying, I don't know what it is, but y'all are not the one.
You're not the one. That's right. And
they was making a lot more money than me too.
Yeah.
That's it's amazing because I'm probing you all because these are blessings that not everybody gets. Yeah. And we also don't know. One of the things I want to say to you, and I think this is important, that I didn't necessarily go with the person that I was most physically attracted to. I went with the person I was mentally attracted to. If you understand what I'm saying, because visually, our eyes can deceive us. We think, oh, look, she got a big, he's muscular, got a big butt and all that stuff.
Yeah,
you got to go here, and that's the things that we really have to. You guys are married here first before, right?
No, that's very true.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, I of course was attracted to him, but I was drawn to him for other reasons, like as far as a husband,
right?
So yeah.
Tell me about your children, how you raising them, and especially during the pandemic and the store and just everything. Talk to me about how you're entrepreneurs. This is so intriguing.
Yeah, well, the children are mostly grown up now. David is the youngest; he's 16.
Okay.
And he's in virtual school, so we pretty much are always with him because we work from home for the most part. And we have Mike and Adam, who also live here, and they're on their paths. Micah just became a realtor, and so he's selling homes and doing all that. We're a very close-knit family. They all want to be close to us, and we raised them with that tight family bond. They were homeschooled mostly because we wanted to build a good foundation for them. And we were able to build our own schedules and stuff like that with us traveling and different things like that. So it really caused them to become very strong in their foundation. Like, they're solid kids. They've never got into any trouble. They are very intellectual, very articulate. They can hold conversations with anybody, and
not socially challenged at all.
Yeah, they've traveled the world, they've been to all kinds of different countries and things. So, we're very proud of them.
Do they sing?
Do they sing?
Oh,
yes, they can sing.
All of them.
They don't want to pursue it as a career, but they all can sing very well. Yeah. Our oldest son Brandon lives in Baton Rouge, and he's an aspiring screenwriter, so he's writing scripts and things like that. And so they're just great kids. They are definitely a reflection of who we are. Like, when you meet them, you'll know, okay, I see.
I think this is, one of the few, not many of us are blessed like that, but you have to know who you're looking for. You have to really be interviewing your partner, and it can't just be physical. It really can't, because the physicality that goes out the window after a while anyway. You got up here. How do you all get together? How do you get through problems? How do you discuss it? And and when one can be strong and the other one can be weak, and vice versa, all those things are important, especially when you become entrepreneurs, because that's something on top of the marriage, on top of the children that you're raising. How did that work? Did you have other businesses before the store, before the beignets that you all worked on?
Yeah, we've been in business together now for 17 years. Mm-hmm. So we were, we're still in the entertainment business. We have a record company. We're writing songs together. So we've been doing business together. The food side of it, was just really, an extension of what we do at home, cooking together, because we just love to cook and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So as far as the restaurant and all that stuff, it was just kind of organic. But I think that we've gotten through challenges. We've grown to where we are now. I mean, we typically don't stay mad at each other more than like a couple minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah. About that, because that's very interesting. How are you all able to get through that with business and personal at the same time and be able to give me an example if you can remember anything that was a problem at that time and how you worked it out?
Well, for one, it's hard for us to, still today we have our methods when we get into the kitchen. And so I have a method, she has a method. Everything is all over the place when I'm cooking, but when it comes out as a masterpiece, she's more structured and organized. And so if you move something out of it's like we're fighting this kitchen, like get out the kitchen, get out of my way. You take that side, I got this side, and now you mind your business.
Yeah, it gets
right?
irritating.
Yeah. So, but we've learned how to work together. Like we know when we get in the kitchen together, this is my station, that's his station.
Yeah, I don't bother him no more like I used to.
Right. And so I don't input into, oh, you ought to do this, you ought to, no, do your thing. Yeah. When it comes together.
You all you have concessions. Okay, you do this, I'll do that, and everything.
We've learned that. And it's definitely been, ups and downs and times when it was definitely very strong conversations. But we've grown to now, like I said, we don't hold grudges. Like we'll move on fast. Like I'll be mad for a minute, and then next thing you know, we're like laughing and talking about something. And I think it's just because, as you get older, maybe you just realize it's just not that big of a deal. Like the stuff that we're upset about, why are we, it's like, move on and keep it happy.
Here's a quick analogy that my dad gave me before we were married. We were dating, and he asked this question. He said, "Have you ever bit your tongue before?" I said, "Of course." He said, "Did it hurt?" "Yeah, it hurt." So he said, in order for your body to get the nutrients it needs, the food and the nutrients it needs, your teeth and your tongue has to work together. Sometimes one may clamp down and hurt the other, but in order for the body to get the fulfillment and nutrients that it needs, you got to figure out, the teeth and the tongue has to figure out how to work together. And so that analogy was really cool. And so I use that a lot, even when we talk to other couples.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
You look like my mom. I keep looking at her. She was like my mother when she was young. She was pretty like you are.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God, I'm just looking at her. Okay, now listen. Okay, so you became down to tell me how you have a restaurant. You said you have a restaurant. I understand that people are standing in line.
Well, the restaurant in Fayetteville has closed. We closed that in December 19. When my daughter passed away in October, it just became a lot to continue the restaurant. So we closed the restaurant. We have done a licensing deal with our brand. So we have 2 locations in Virginia that are run by a restaurateur up there who basically took our concept, and he, sells the beignets via the store, delivery, pickup, all that stuff. So
Chesterfield and Richmond, Virginia.
So it's just beignets that you all sell.
Right? Yeah, right now those are just beignets being sold in those locations, but there are toppings and fillings and stuffings. So it's a extension of the traditional way of having beignets. So we have all kinds of creative.
We just put a little more drama on it.
Are you guys gonna send me some?
Yes, sure. We'll have to send you some mix. Yes.
Let me have to go on and bust you out and say they ain't sending me nothing. Huh?
No, we will get it to you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let me ask you something. Okay, and I know that this may be sensitive, but the loss of your child. How do you get through that? Because many of us, especially during the pandemic, are losing our loved ones and our children. And I was just looking at in India, they're burning bodies.
Yeah,
I just heard about that.
It's awful. But how were you able to, she passed away just in 2019, and How old was she
Yes,
then?
October. She was
October.
15.
Okay. So what happened there? That was all of a sudden, or was
Yes, it was all of a sudden. It was devastating. I mean, surreal. Like we couldn't even believe it was happening. Sometimes it's still like, you have these moments where did this really happen?
Mhm.
And really our faith, I know I can definitely say this for me, has been, and it might sound cliche, but when you get into some trauma like that, it's like that's the only thing you can reach for, your faith. And I don't want to get emotional, but you cry out to God and ask him to really give you the strength every day. And you get to the point where you just accept that this was what he allowed. And I know that she's in a better place. She's wonderful and she's great, and she has a spirit that is flying high. She was more than a body.
Tell me about her.
She was just a kind, sweet, gentle girl.
Very caring.
She actually got the award for kindness because she was just kind. She loved people. She was tender. Her heart went out to orphans and things like that. That was just who she was. And, she was a beautiful person. And so, I have so many wonderful memories. Just a lot of joy and a lot of laughter with her. And so we have sweet memories, we have sweet memories, and we cry and, and those things, but we have enough to hold on to. And I think, like I said earlier, the homeschooling, it was a reward for us, because when I think about all the time we had with her, that, people even that have their kids, till they're 50 or 60 or 70 years old, sometimes they don't have the amount of time we had with her.
Yeah.
We were with her every single day, and spending days and traveling and doing all kinds of wonderful things. And so we have beautiful memories.
Yeah.
So homeschooling, did you homeschool all your children?
Yes.
Yeah, we started with Brandon when he was in the 4th grade. And that was mainly because Brandon was extremely intelligent, and he always stayed in trouble. He was always in trouble in class because he wasn't challenged.
Yeah.
Academically, he wasn't being challenged. And so because of racism or bigotry or whatever, they didn't want to put him in advanced classes. He would have been the only Black kid. And so they tried to label him as ADD and things like that. And we say, no, you're not going to do that to our son. We pulled him out and began to homeschool him. And when he graduated high school, he had a full ride to LSU.
Oh my God, that's wonderful. How old is he now again?
26.
He's 26 now.
Y'all look like y'all 26. What the heck?
Thank you.
Y'all are pretty. Let me ask you something about the racism. How did you tell? I'm particularly scared. Your son is 26 years old. I have sons that they're older than that, but I'm scared to death. I'm very, people just kill our kids right now. What have you been saying to your sons and your children with these deaths of George Floyd and all this and Black Lives?
Number one, we always talking to them about don't get stopped. Do everything you can to be a law-abiding citizen. Like, don't speed. Things like that. Don't give anybody a reason to pull you over, a reason to stop you. And then, we have to give them instructions on how, if you are stopped, how do you handle that situation? Keep your hands visible, things like that. It's sometimes people do all the right things and still end up dead, end up a victim. So it's tough. It's hard out here. And you just got to be praying that, God will preserve your child, your children.
What do you say to God? What do you, because as pastors, and, if people in the church, what do you say? How do you console all the, we don't know what to do either, right? And no matter Do you
I
talk?
just pray a prayer of protection, every time. I'm literally always praying for my boys. I'm always praying for them. I don't like them to go out late. Like I'm always like they'll try to make a late night run to get some fast food or something. And I'm just like,
Please.
Sometimes I'm like, don't go out tonight. Like I'm just not feeling it, and sometimes they don't understand. Sometimes they don't want to listen and things like that. And so then I just pray.
And they're adults now, so it's not like you can,
Yeah. But it's so much going on.
I was locking mine in. I used to really have major conversations, but my husband they're much older now, but I'm telling you, even back in the 70s and 80s, it was tough. It was, and they would go to parties and they insisted on going to parties and I would say, no, you don't need to go there. I'm telling them, they said, you're going to be, what did they say? You just want us to be, he said, you're just born on us to be bored stiff. I said, I'd rather be bored stiff than a stiff on a board. You say it here. Honey, I had all kinds of names and because they were and their friends also come on, we can go to this party, we can do it. Girl, I was fighting every day. And my son wound up being shot 4 times.
Oh wow.
Oh no.
Yes, and God bless, God was so good. He even had a bullet in his heart. And he just in a neighborhood where the one of the top 6 hospitals in the nation, there were MASH doctors. You ever watch MASH, the TV show?
Yeah.
Well, there was a MASH doctor there who had him totally open, and he was looking at he said, you think that if I take this bullet out, the other doctor said, you think if I take the bullet out of his heart, it comes to the large that you can close it up before the blood comes pumping out real fast? And he said, yeah, because they were MASH doctors. As soon as he took one stitch, saved my baby's life.
Oh my God, that's a miracle.
Jesus.
Wow.
And I had, no matter how I had talked to them about where you're going, what parties were very difficult, very dangerous at that time. And I program BET. So I program a lot of the rappers and gang. And so it was very difficult because at the same time, I'm an elder. I want to teach. I want them to learn better. I want them to know about, the consequences to what you say, your mouth, who you're with, So in order to try and save my babies, now I see so many of them passing away, getting shot up and everything. I'm an elder. I know about consequences, and that's it was so difficult for me. Because and the words that they use and how we're the only nation that speaks negatively about our men. No one else does that. You don't hear calling each other that chink or what, So we have to, I'm waiting for us to kind of transition out of this for us, because we're powerful people.
Right.
What we sing or say today is emulated around the world. Every country you
can. We're so much, of an influence.
We influence the rest of the planet.
Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah, definitely.
So what do you teach your boys? What do you say to them and your your kids? Because our children are special. We have to watch them. We really, want to put the fear of God in them, but you do want them to be careful. You know what I mean? So
we try to balance it, like you said. We don't want to make them overly fearful, but at the same time, really, giving them the truth and trying the best we can to lead them, give them examples and things like that. And, I think it's definitely helped. They don't fight us as much as they used to. They've grown a lot.
And they've seen a lot.
Yeah. They listen a little bit better now and stuff like that. So, I think that it's very important that parents, especially now, they watch what their kids are doing. whether it's social media, like who their friends are and things like that, and who's influencing them. Because, if you can deal with it when they're younger, you kind of can build that foundation solid. And then when they grow up, there are things that they probably won't necessarily want to even be bothered with. Like our kids never got into drugs and alcohol and any of that stuff. But
we also taught them at a young age that you are what you eat. That's not just in the natural, but also in the spiritual. So whatever it is that you consume all the time, whether it's that music that's driven with violence and promiscuity and drugs and all these things, you literally become what you feed yourself. Okay. And so we've always been diligent with preaching that message to them. Yeah. And the Bible is true. Train up a child in the way they should go, and when he is older, he will not depart from it. And we've seen that in our children. We don't have to force spoon them. We've given them the tools, and we've planted those seeds early on, and now we're seeing those seeds
they're all
fully
leaders.
blown.
They're leaders, and they're all very much spiritual. One of them is actually pursuing going into the ministry. So it's a blessing.
So you started talking. We used to have my father would sit us on the sofa every Sunday, and he would talk to us about how to dress when we're at work, how to talk to one another and other people, how to protect yourselves as well as others, and your work experience, how you come into work, how do you say good morning? You did can set you aside from everyone else so that you are the one that they look at in terms of, advancing you at the company where you work. And honesty was of paramount for my family, and also treating others well. And just being kinder. This platform is for being kinder and gentler to each other. And we have to do that. We have to know what happened to us. Many bad things have been happening to Black people for centuries now. But we can come out of that. We can get through.
Yes.
So, and people like you, it would be good for us to learn how to model our children after the two of you, the fact that you can work together in your marriage, as well as build your business, as well as raise your children, as well as love each other, as well as writing together and making music together. This is a blessing. I'm so glad that you all spent time with us on this platform. I don't want you to be strangers. If new things happen, I want to know about them. And where's the restaurant? Where can we buy beignets? So tell us what to do.
Yeah, so the beignet mix right now is on Walmart.com. Next week we are launching in all Wayfield food stores here in Atlanta. So that's about 9 stores. And we have several other retail grocers that are looking at our product now, evaluating it and things like that to see if they can squeeze us into their shelf space.
Okay.
And so we're very excited about that.
These are nationwide stores,
retailers. Yeah, we've just been stepping out on faith and reaching out, and people have been responding. So it's been very exciting. Yeah. And I just wanted to throw this out there too, just for the readers and listeners. It's very important, I think, that, in this climate that we're in, that you try your very best to, even when people are, maybe being negative towards you, just to present yourself with kindness, because we have experienced so much blessing and favor from all types of people and races and cultures, just from being kind. A lot of doors have opened for us. We have, been the exception to a lot of rules, just from kindness. And I just wanted to throw that out there, because sometimes, people think that they're limited because of their color, and they won't even try certain things. But kindness can get you so far.
Yeah, and I want to add to that. It's amazing how we've experienced these past several years actually, that other people, other race have been very warm and almost like repented, toward us and apologetic for things that have happened in the past. It's interesting. The average person, like, like people would say, things like, oh, it's so unfortunate how we as a people have been treated over the years, and how their hearts are hurting for the Black community. And I mean, literally, these are conversations that people that we've had with people. And it's like,
but we're very welcoming to them. And I think they feel like they can actually open up. We're very much open.
But they are fearful. They don't know how to approach the subject. So you do have those bad apples.
We have to open up.
Almost like you have to.
I think you should too, because if somebody comes, don't push them away. Don't say your race is this and y'all did this, and no, that's not good. It's
right.
I enjoy being with you guys this evening.
The
name of your restaurant is what? Orleans Brews and Beignets?
Well, it's in the two that we have in Virginia are Orleans Beignets. Only Orleans Beignets.
What part of Virginia?
Chesterfield and Richmond. So in Chesterfield, it's an actual pickup, delivery, dine-in. And then in Richmond, it's only delivery through Grubhub and Uber Eats and things like that.
And so who does all the accounting and everything over there?
I am the business person.
She writes the songs.
Wait a minute. All right.
What do you do? Come on, let's just unpack this. What do you do?
I'm an administrative type. I love it. Yeah. Like, I love administration, and I just, it doesn't bother me. I don't get stressed by it. Like, I love paperwork and doing my little things. Yeah. So, yeah.
All right, Micah and Heidi, thank you so much.
Thank you. This was an honor. This is such an honor.
Being an example of how Black people are some kind of incredible.
Yeah.
I'm just in love with Black people. I truly, truly am. I lived in Sweden 9 years. Sweden, 9 years. Great country, beautiful people. Ain't nothing like my Black people here.
Yes.
We full of color.
Very colorful.
Love you all. Take care and send me some beignets.
Love you. Thank you. Yes, we're gonna make sure we get the address to send it, and we're gonna get it out. We just moved, so give us about a week or so, but we'll definitely get it out to you.
God bless you all.
Bless you. Bye-bye.